Okay, dear ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, friends, I see pretty many also our PhD students, our bachelor and master students, and I think it's just the right time that you came, because I suppose that this one presentation, which will be given by our accelerator partner, Amir Raveh, will be really valuable experience for you. And if you will have any question, you can ask. They will try to explain what would you like to know. After this presentation will be the presentation of Professor Neven Vrček, and time for break will be from 12 to 1 and 1:30. 1:30 we will stop the break, and 1:30 we start with the second part. So I wish you very pleasant, concentrating, listening, and just, Amir, please, stage is yours.
Thank you, Dagmar. Thanks a lot, Dagmar. Hey, everybody. Before I start, I'm here representing the European Alliance of Innovation and our acceleration team, and we have here also Asaf, Mr. Asaf Mendelssohn, and Rastcho. And I think, first of all, before I start, I want to ask you, in this audience, who had an idea or something that he wanted, perhaps an innovation idea that he wanted to take forward, that he thought maybe I can create a company out of it, or something? 1, 2, 3. Okay, I hope after this short speak, perhaps we'll see more hands coming up. I want to start with a quick story. When I was, I think around 29, I came to London from Israel. Maybe you can hear the accent. And I had this idea that I want to, and I said, why won't I make a company out of it? Crazy idea. It was far away from my home. So I said, if I fail, maybe nobody will know. Yeah? So I started this business, and I remember one time a friend of mine told me, you need to get an investment. This was the happy days of the end of the 90s. Maybe you remember the end of the 90s, or you heard about it. There was a lot of money given by investors to young people like yourself with an idea, with a business idea, or with an innovation, or interesting research. So I got all dressed up and I went to the city of London to meet the investors. And I did my presentation and I never heard from them. It was like 3 weeks and I was really down. And after 3 weeks, I bumped into one of the people that was in the investors meeting, one of the investors. His name was Trevor. So I asked him, I bumped into him, I asked him, Trevor, can I ask you, what happened? I haven't heard anything from you with my, I was quite brave at that moment to approach him. And he said to me, Amir, you know what, it's 5 o'clock, and you know what happens in England in 5 o'clock? Beer time. So let's have a beer. So we went to the bar, the local bar in the city of London, and we were starting to drink, and he was drinking and drinking, and you know what happens to the English people after they drink? They become very nice, sometimes too nice. And I thought that he's very nice, and then I said, this is the moment to ask him. And I asked him again, Trevor, I presented you my idea, my business vision. I did a presentation. What happened? Why I never heard from you? And then he told me, Amir, if you want me to be honest, the first you need to do is to change your green suit and brown shoes. And this was really true. I don't know if you know the dress code in London. I now know it. But then I had this tacky horrible green suit and brown shoes. Yeah? This was my first experience of meeting investors. Now, today, I'm going to share with you in the next short session some of the mistakes, some of the things that people like yourself, early people with an idea that want to take it to the market are doing, and perhaps share with you some of those mistakes, so when you or some of your colleagues or teams decide one day to take an idea out there, to make it, to create a business out of it, I think this perhaps can save you a little bit of time, money, and aggravation. Okay, now, before we start, I think one of the challenges of Europe is the fact that there is a lot of innovation everywhere. And we saw the ministry, the person from the ministry here, and we saw the lady from the European Commission. There is a lot of activities around innovation. But let me tell you a small secret. Perhaps you know it. There is very little innovation comparing to the investment, which is actually going to the market and creating out of this innovation real products and services. So there is like a great ideas lying there somewhere in the University of in Bratislava or in Trnava, but not all those great ideas, great researchers, great innovations are having the right knowledge, vehicle, platform to really get and become a real reality. Because otherwise, if it's here in the lab, it doesn't really make a difference in the world. Correct me if I'm wrong. So we're going to, this is the overall context of this conversation. Because in the end of the day, we would like to see how we can support great ideas coming from people like you to get into the market and to become a real success stories. Some of those stories coming from Europe, you probably heard about Yandex, yes, the Russian Google, that raised $1.1 billion on NASDAQ. Skype, not everybody knows that Skype is Estonian. Yeah, Estonia is even smaller than Slovakia. Yeah, Skype came from there. This is a team from Slovakia, from Estonia. We have Waze coming from Israel, the Israeli GPS navigation system, sold to Google. And Angry Birds raising, it's not selling the company, it's raising $42 million from investors. Imagine if you're raising $42 million, where can you go? Okay. This is a young team which I met 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, engineers that had an idea. And they were very clear that they want to take this idea to the market. Within 2 years, KitLocate changed their product 3 times. But because they had a very strong team, eventually they had a very good product, and they sold the product to Yandex last month successfully. Engineers came out of the university, within 2 years, sold this company to Yandex, and they're now working within Yandex to continue to develop their product. So let's go briefly on the 10 top mistakes. Again, this is, I'm sure there are other opinions, but this is things I thought could be of value, so we can use them. I'm sure that some of you may find additional ideas to add to this list. Now we're going to go through this very quickly, and I'm going to touch on each one of them very briefly. Lack of business validation. Okay? Lack of business validation. We don't know if the real business there. Okay, we have an idea, we're starting to sell it, but we're not sure if it's really going to be a business. How do we do that? Okay, teamless. Some, they say teamless or working alone. Yeah, how do we create a team around us? Skipping mental development. We, as innovators, if we want to go through this process, we need to have a certain mental state of mind. I will go into it in a minute. Trap in confidentiality syndrome. Yeah, any idea what I mean? You know the engineers that you meet that they have an idea what the first thing they say? What? What is it? You have to sign a non-disclosure agreement. I'm not telling anybody. You know this? You're familiar with this feeling? I'm not telling anybody. We'll touch on this. This is a problem. This is a to my view, it has some, it has some challenges within it, and we'll touch it in a minute. Choosing the wrong partners, not only in life, but also in business. Not thinking global, specifically for a country like yourself, that has a small, like Israel, has a small, local market, but a huge market around you. Not getting an advisory board to add to the venture, an advisory board, and I'll explain what I mean in a minute. Do not focus on the first deal, this first strategic deal. Maybe you know what I mean. Do not focus, falling in love with the product, if you see what I mean. Once I told about Alex Ferguson that he has a problem that he's falling in love with his old players. But I think now with the Man United situation, they're quite, they're missing Alex Ferguson's pitfalls. And last one, lacking of fundraising skills. And when I say fundraising, I'm not just saying to be expert on getting money from the European Commission, but also to know the other channels of fundraising and to be in the position to be an expert of raising money from the other channels. All right, business validation. In the past, I remember when I did my bachelor degree, which was ages ago, last century almost, they told us to find an idea, to develop it, to have a product, and then to look for customers. Yeah? Create your technology, work on it 2 years, and then find your customers. This was the rationale when I was in university. I hope today, in your case, it's different. The rationale now is saying, you have an idea, don't do anything. Don't do anything yet. Hold on. Don't invest money. Don't go to the lab. Go and speak to who? Customers. Speak to the customers. See if anybody wants the idea at all. Sometimes, I know ventures that spend, 3 years creating features and we're not ready and features, and they never talk to the customers. So the first thing we say to the ventures when they're joining us, have you spoke to the customers? At least 30 customers, potential customers. Did you identify what we call the early adopters customers, the ones that are more likely to buy your product? Because if you identify those crazy people, like they say, today we are all using, some of us using Apple, but there are crazy people that will be waiting in the queue for iPhone 6, sometimes in -5 degrees for 12 hours to be the first who's having the iPhone 6. If you have a business idea or innovation idea, you want to identify the first people that are going to be the first users of your technology. And then speak to them, and then get feedback. I even challenge the ventures that we have, and I say to them, close your first deal. They say, what do you mean? We don't have anything yet. So what? Close your first deal. If there is a customer, there is a need, the customer likes it, go for it. Close the deal. And then most of the implementation of technology products take a while anyway. And you can always tell the customer, you're going to be our beta site. We're going to work with you together. And that's why you get it in a very affordable price, almost in cost price. But you have your first customer before you even started to put everything together. Okay? So business validation is key. If you have this idea and you want to take it forward, is to really speak to the customers and see and get a clear understanding of the needs. And then, when we're very clear, in any event, probably the product will change 5 times until it comes to the market. But at least we know what the market is looking for now. There are different statistics about researchers and entrepreneurs, early stage leaders of innovators. Most of them are working alone. They sit in their computer, they have this idea, they're not sharing it to have too many people because they're afraid that other people will copy them, and they are really within themselves. I invite you to consider that when you have a team, it's a totally different world from all reasons. Imagine that I work alone. On the first startup that I had in London, I worked alone until I got an investor after 2 years, but I was on my own, in my head all the time. Not easy. Imagine that you have 5 people on your team. They're all bringing different capabilities, different contacts. How many contacts each of us has here? Imagine if you can multiply this by 5. 5 people. Capabilities. Each one of us is different. Somebody is good in technology. Somebody is very good in management, money, sales. We are working as a team. Now, in some ventures, some research projects, I see a team, but I don't see a team, if you see what I mean. There is a list of people on the team, but I don't see a teamwork. Okay? So something to bear in mind, we are not really programmed to work as a team. We are, since we are born, specifically you, if I may say, the Y generation, yeah? It's me, yeah? For a good sense as well, because you have a lot of capabilities. Yeah, you're multi-talented, you can do many things together. But imagine if you can put 5 people like this of the Y generation in one team, what kind of capacity you're going to have there? What kind of force is it for anything? By the way, I use the team. I think team everywhere. Even in my home, when we have to clean, to prepare dinner, there is a team. Kids, who is doing what? There is a team. Okay? A lady told me once, she told me, Amir, wherever you are feeling under constraint, or stressed, consider that you're not working in a team. Wherever you're stressed, please consider that you're not working as a team. We would not be able to create this accelerator if we were not a team and working as a team. It would be totally different from what it is now. And you will see what it is later on in the day when we'll show you some testimonials from ventures. Some of us are skipping mental development. Now, what do I mean by mental? There is a very famous entrepreneur which I follow, and he always says, his name is Yanki Margalit from Israel. And he says, entrepreneurship is a state of mind. It's a mental state. It's a mental state. Or innovation is a mental state. In order to transform an idea, to take it all the way to be a successful product, you have to pass through so many challenges, so many obstacles. For me, it's the best ever job you can imagine. But it's still demanding you to be really a master in many domains. Yeah? If you are waking up, hopefully, after this festival, and you say, I have this idea. Why don't I speak to Rashcho, or to Asaf, or to Amir, and I take it forward. Maybe I can take it forward. And then you are starting to put the plan together. You would see that there is a lot of domains that you need to be mastering. You need to be expert in your area to understand the competition. You need to be expert, you need to know very good what it means to set up a business if you are going to do it very soon. You need to understand this. You need to be very clear in what it means to create a team and to manage a team. You need to know how to speak to customers, to investors. You need to be expert in communication and communicating powerfully. You know those people that get into the room and you already want to do business with them without them even saying anything. Something in what they really bring, the energy they bring to the room. This is not creating out of nothing. Okay? So I invite you to consider that this mental development, by reading, by understanding how the mind of investors work, by understanding the challenges that other early stage ventures bump into, other researchers like you bump into when they started their idea, will really transform you, and you will become somebody that is really more capable in many other areas. It's not something that everybody wants in his life. Yeah, you may have people here that says, leave us alone. We are happy. We have this lab here. Everybody, life is good. We have the funding coming from the European Commission. Don't bother us with all kind of getting to the market, commercialization ideas. So it's okay. Nothing bad in this. But if there are people here that in their minds, they are looking at the next level, I invite you to consider this mental development is a very strong part of leading successful ventures, ideas forward. We touched it. Let's speak about the confidentiality syndrome. And I know that this is very strong in Europe. Yeah? We are not telling anything. If you're not signing, Mr. Investor, we're not presenting the idea to you. We're sorry. I know, we came all the way, 2 days, to see you. But if you're not signing an NDA, we're not meeting. We are not going forward. We're not presenting the idea. What do you think about confidentiality? What do you think about IP protection? Any idea? Sharing or not sharing? Who's the first brave? Sharing? Anybody? Let me invite you to consider that the strategy of keeping your idea in the drawer so nobody will copy it has not really proven as a successful strategy. One of the challenges, I know the notion that you want to keep the idea that nobody will copy you. This is very clear. And by the way, if you can do a patent, if you can list a patent, fine, go for it. Sometimes the patent route is very clear. Also, I wouldn't invest 50,000 euro before I spoke to my clients, at least a little bit, yes? So there is some validation needed before even registering the patent, I would invite you to consider. But even if you did, so if you have registered and you have a clear path for patent, that's great. Sometimes you have this technology which is not clear and it's not really patentable. Or you have this application, you have this idea of application that you want to do. Yeah? I went to a youth acceleration in Ireland, and one of the kids says, my idea is that I want that every one of my friends is calling me, I will see the hologram here. The hologram is jumping and I can make them small or big. This is my idea. Now I want to develop it. He's 15, yeah? As far as confidentiality is concerned, I invite you to consider that even, let's say, the idea is that you did hold the idea and you save it only for yourself, and you just told your family and your close friends, and you managed to go buy this and you've developed this amazing product or application, and it's going to the market, okay? Nobody knew about it. You managed to do it, and it's up and running. It's on App Store, or you can buy it wherever you sell it. And then one of the chief technologies of the big giants is saying, this is very nice. We perhaps can do something similar. We'll change the code a little bit. We'll do it differently. I'm speaking about the big giants, yeah, like the Google, the Apple, the Facebook of the world. How long would it take them, you reckon, to have a similar product? If they're working slow, how long would it take? You're not allowed to talk here in Slovakia? It's against the rules? How long would it take? 2 months. Okay. Anybody? 3 months. Yeah. If the, you know, oh. That's what happens. No electricity? Is this okay, sir? Is this okay? Okay. Where were we? In the 2 months, yeah. So really, now the other disadvantage, if we keep it to ourselves, we cannot share it. And part of the way that ideas are moving on forward is that we are sharing it with people. We have a team, everybody's sharing it. We're getting more experts on board. We need this technology guy and this expert. And everybody together is moving this forward very quickly. If I do it on my own with 2 people and we are keeping it to ourselves, this usually will take a lot of time. Now, when I have a team and everybody's working together, it's true that we are exposed to some reason, but genuinely, and as we said, we are exposed anyway. So if it's the case, let's do it fast. Let's do it as a team. And let's share the relevant people. I'm not saying if you have the option to do a patent, go for it. But don't let this confidentiality idea stop you from moving forward. This is my invitation. Of course, you don't have to take it. Partners. I heard once when I was exploring to take my partner in London, my second partner, somebody told me, Amir, the first thing you need to make sure is, by choosing your partner, is that he knows, you know how to fight. That he knows how to fight. You know what I mean? You know, some people, if they get to disagreement, bye-bye, you know, crisis, you know, it's a disaster, it's a major. And if you want to work with a partner, whether it's within your teams or anywhere, I thought it's a very good tip. Somebody that you know how to, to fight with as well. I shared it with my son. My son is 15 years old and he has his own startup now. In the car industry, by the way, top quality car, top gear cars. And he asked me about a certain person that he wanted to invite to the team. And I shared with him this insight, and he said, yeah, I can fight with him very good. We are fighting very good, these two guys that he put them together. So that's one thing. The other thing is that I invite you to take people on board for, not for skill, but for attitude. Take people on board, this is, for some people, this is really shocking. Not invite people to your teams and put more attention on attitude than on skill. And what do I mean? Skills can be learned. If you have a partner with the right attitude, he can find people to do the job. If you're looking for a technical expert on some field, and you know, if you find somebody but he has the wrong attitude, he's pessimist, nothing can work, ta-ta-ta, okay. Some people are smiling, so yeah. On the other hand, if you have a guy who perhaps is not the best expert on the field, but he has the very good attitude, he's always with a passion, always open to learn, good teammate, very high integrity. So you want, he will find somebody to do it. These days you can find experts anyway. I don't need to tell you. How difficult is it to find an expert now in other country that will do some of the work you're doing? Some of the best outsourcing centers are, in different places. I know I have a friend who has a Philippine, 2 people from the Philippines. He's paying them, I don't know, peanuts comparing to what you would pay in London, and they're giving him the best engineering work ever. It's not easy. It demands something to do this. But if you have the right team with the right attitude, better, I would say, and then, to use these teams to find additional resources or personnel that you need. I saw that there are international guests here, yes, and this is, I think, very, very important. I think the work that Dagmar and the university here are doing is very important to really give you access to international markets, international knowledge. And this is also something that you will find within the accelerator, the AI accelerator. And this is quite important. If you think about it, the market is out there, really. If you have a good product, you can test it here. But the market is out there. If I meet local teams which are saying to me, yeah, we are planning to go to Bratislava and then we're moving forward to other cities, this is okay. But please consider that if you have a validation for the idea or the product, you can go elsewhere. Yeah, English, go elsewhere. So thinking global is perhaps something that I will invite you to consider, is something that we do from day one. Unless you live in the States or Russia, then you have market which is, yeah. Okay. Who saw this movie? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're allowed to put hands up here, which is nice. You as well? You want to see? A very good movie, yeah? The name of the movie is Hair, with the voice of Scarlett Johansson. And what happens here, I'm not going to spoil you because it's all over the place, but the guy is falling in love with his iOS, with his operation system, really. And I'm saying this as an example. Obviously, Scarlett Johansson. So you can't really blame him. But what I invite you to consider that sometimes we have this idea and we're working for it for ages and it's not going anywhere, but we are still in love with the research and with the product and with the innovation that we thought will be relevant 3-5 years ago. The first thing we can do, as we said earlier, is to speak to who? Customers. Go back to customers all the time. Go back to customers. They are here. They are available. You know, when I started my company, there wasn't the internet. It's just started internet. Here, you put a post, you identify, you know, with your team, you identify first customers. Within a week, you have a completed research of speaking to customers if you're really into it. So the question is, you know, I love the product, that's very good. But is this the best product for this particular customers? And if not, let's change it. Okay, I'm not sure I would invite those people to my advisory board. However, what do I mean by advisory board? When I say, when I meet teams that are saying, yeah, we have this idea, we want to take it forward. We had three ventures from Slovakia in the accelerator. Two people from Slovakia in the accelerator. They, you know, they were there, they wanted to take it forward. They were thinking internationally. And I asked them, do you have an advisory board? And they say, what? What do you mean? I think they will meet one of them today, later on, yeah? What do you mean advisory board? I said, look, you have a team. I saw that you have a team. Now that you're working with us, you're going to add more people to your team, which is great. But what about advisory board? And advisory board, we mean, is to add a board, a management, which is helping you on an ad hoc basis, like once a month for an hour, conference call on Hangout, Google, yeah, or chat. But these people are usually senior people, you know, old people like me, that are in your board, have their connections, their views, their different skills. One is good in banking, one is excellent in technology, one has sold his company, yeah? You have some success stories here, yeah? You have Asset, yeah, I know, yeah? The security, the virus company, antivirus, yeah? And you have the Pixel Federation. Yes, you have success stories here. You have a very strong presence in the automotive industry. So to take people on board which are senior, that can support you now, very often teams are asking me, how can I ask them to join me? Well, we are a very young team, we're just students. Why would, I don't know, this particular successful guy, yeah, what's his name, the guy from Asset? He has a name? What's his name? Trenka? Trenka? Mr. Trenka, would you like to join us? We have this amazing product that we're working on. It's going to really transform the world. We are really inspired about this. Would you like to join us? This is our team. I would say that if you approach people from the age of, let's say, 35 onwards, there is very good chance that you will enroll them into your venture. Most of them wouldn't ask for anything. You can be generous in the future if it's been successful to give them something. It can be options, a package of options, or a small minority shares of the company, should it be successful. But some people are amazed how easy it is to have good people working with you, supporting your business. Now, if we talked about the magic of having your team, like 5 people on your core team, imagine how would it be to have 5 people on your core team and 5 people on your advisory board team. This is power. This is power. Compare this to somebody who's working on his own. This is comparing, I don't know, a bicycle to a Mac, yeah, to a track, moving forward. Also, when you're coming to meet investors, this is our team, yeah? It's not easy. It's not difficult. You have it around you. You have the people in your team here. You have, through the university, through the contacts, people that can join your advisory board. It's not around you. It's not high there, you know, in the other, you know, successful people are in arena. This is here. And I know this because we are working with entrepreneurs and with researchers which are starting the program in A, and after 3 months, this is a Mac track moving forward. Quick word about the first deal. What do I mean by the first deal? In every idea, you have this strategic deal that can be the difference between winning and losing. Yeah, this strategic deal. This customer that said, "Yes, we'll come, we'll work with you." Now, a lot of entrepreneurs are afraid to approach those big companies, these big clients, potential clients, these first big deals, strategic clients, and they settle with small deals, and they struggle with the small deals for ages. Why is this important? If you can say, we have now a first pilot up and running in the Peugeot plant around here. We have a beta running now for 3 months. Peugeot took you on board? Okay. Let's talk. Now, how do we do that? It depends. If we are working alone, and our idea is in the drawer, quite challenging. If we have an advisory board and we have a team, doable. Doable, but it has to be in the plan of, in the action plan of your venture. And if you say, look, doesn't matter, we don't have the product yet, it's not perfect, but we are going to meet 5 top first deal, top strategic customers in the next 3 months, because we have those contacts, and through the university, we can meet those people, and we can come prepared, and we are there to get one of them on board. Sometimes they don't even need to pay money. They just take the service, agree to take the service as a pilot for a while. And why would they do that? Because it gives them priority, it gives them benchmark to learn about this product, it gives them advantage on the competition. They can show their bosses that they are really very advanced and innovative. You need to understand their point of view as well. Funding. Funding or fundraising is an art. I would, if you're in the position to raise money, and some of you have raised, other people here that already raise money for projects in the audience? European? Not yet. Okay. Some of you are familiar with this, and we heard the lady here from the European Commission. You need to learn the rules, you need to learn how it works. The same works with all the other fundraising channels. Okay, what other channels there are to raise money? Other channels. Where can you raise money? Crowdfunding, excellent. Crowdfunding. Okay, there are a few platforms. Is it used in Slovakia? Crowdfunding? 2 companies. Okay. Any other ways to get money? If you're looking to have the best idea, you need to raise now money. Where do you go? Bank. Sure. Bank option. Yeah. Not sure the bank will say straight away, sure, take 100K and let's dance. But it's an option. And next, who else? Mr. Business Angels, exactly. business angels, venture capitals, funds, there are plenty, yeah? Neurology, yeah? Some of you know neurology, I met them, the sport, Mr. Evan Debnar. There are different people here which are providing those services and those fundings. What I invite you to do is to be ready and to learn whatever you need to learn. I remember one particular investor, when I was very young, raising the first funds for my company, I was about to meet this very tough investor in London. And he told me, and before I met him, they told me, you need to be prepared because he is very quick. 5 minutes with him, it's a long meeting. You cannot start by saying hi and telling him and doing a, how do you say, mingling, and no. And I got here, he put me down on a small chair with my partner, and he said, okay, what do you want? This is how we started. But we were prepared, we knew this, so we gave this speech very powerfully for 2 minutes. Okay, so it's very important when you are looking to raise money in all other channels, and analyze, identify where you're going to get the money from, learn if this is an angel. If this is somebody that people know here, you can learn about him, his, what his preferences, where does he like to invest and so forth. We've done with the 10 mistakes. I want to share with you now a few words about the EAI 360 accelerator. This is accelerator that is part of the European Alliance of Innovation. And what we're doing basically is taking all those people like yourself, people that would like to take their idea forward, and we give them the platform to really do whatever they need fast to get their idea as fast as possible to the market. So within the platform, and by the way, there will be an opportunity here if somebody would like to register to the next, I think there are still few places available. You can speak to Rastro here. Rastro, if you can raise your hand. Thank you. What you will get there is, obviously, you can create your clear business validation. You will develop your go-to-market, your marketing strategy. You will learn how to build and recruit a winning team. You will learn the art of fundraising. You will create a killer presentation for investors. You will get real mentors. Mentors that have done that will sit with you on your idea and tell you, yes, you need to do this, you need to change this. Not only local mentors. Yeah, you have mentors from different countries there. Obviously get international outreach, and you will hear from the testimonials from our participants what kind of outreach they got to other markets, to other potential clients and mentors. And in the end of the program, you will actually, if you choose to, if you're ready, you'll have the opportunity to present to investors. Not necessarily to get the money straight away, but to get feedback from real investors. I think my time is up. So I want to thank you all for coming today. I know that sometimes, listening to this is not really something that is being, it's not an easily listening, yeah? But this is coming from a commitment for our commitment and the team here to take you forward and to invite you to really step into the field to play. Some of us are spectators, yeah, sitting there and shouting. I know that here there are people that are considering, even if they didn't raise their hands, perhaps to do something like this. So I invite you, if this is on your mind, to use this opportunity now, together with the joint venture that we have with the university, to take your ideas forward and to really live up to your dreams. Thank you very much.